On our previous visit here to the Truimph Johannesburg dealership, we brought our Truimph Bonneville T214 limited edition for a quick service, and that's when we saw this bike here behind me, the Truimph Rocket 3, for the first time in the flesh. Now when I saw it, I thought instantaneously of Mustang, the muscle bike of bikes. With 2.5 liters, 221 Newton meters, you think of tire shredding, tire smoke, insane power like volcanic eruption type power through the shaft drive to the back wheel. But they tell me it's not quite like that. It's very rideable, very manageable. So let's go find out. Now, before we go for our ride, let's quickly have a look at the bike. Now, the first thing you will notice is this 2500cc, which is actually a 2458cc to be precise. It's 200 cc's up on the outgoing model. This 2458cc produces 165 horsepower, 221 Newton meters, and with this new 2020 model, they have actually managed to shed 40 kilograms of weight on the outgoing model. How they manage that is the all aluminium frame on this bike, the superior materials used on the castings and forgings on this bike. Now, if you just look at that, the first thing I notice on this bike is these three beautiful headers coming out, and they hydroformed, and it just reminds me of the World War II Spitfire, how the headers come out of that. And there's over 20 jigs in this hand-welded exhaust. This is an aftermarket, the VAX A. The original one has two outlets this side, one on the other side. And another thing with this Rocket 3R, you will notice it has mid-mounted pegs. With the GT, it has the forward mount pegs. The main differences from the R and GT visual would be this R has the black wheels, the GT has the diamond cut wheels. The GT has the sissy bar up here, the GT has the warmers on the grips, the GT also has the clear screen in front. This is the smaller R. Now, just overall having a look, the front wheel is a 17-inch 20-spoke rim shot with a 150, dual Brembo calipers, 4-piston calipers. Now going to the back, you have a 16-inch wheel. The reason for that is the overall stance of the bike. 17 in front, 16 at the back, because with this 240 shod tire, with this absolute width, to get the right curvature for handling, you have to reduce the diameter of the rim to keep the overall diameter of the wheel and rim the same, and the stance is correct. Now, one cool feature to look at, you don't see a rear foot peg on this bike, but if you look closely, it folds out over here. And now you see then folding it away, it is completely gone. Really neat. Walking around to the other side here, you see this massive 150 front tire, the traditional dual headlight with the Truimph logos in, the smaller R screen here, going on ABS, Rocket 3, the three headers here, and shaft drive at the back. You will see you can even have a tail tidy and clean the back up, and anything from the GT and the R is interchangeable. So on this R, you could put the sissy bar, you can put the smaller screen, the bigger touring screen. You can change the handlebars to the GT higher bars or the R bars. Anything can be moved. And also this bike, you got the Truimph panniers that you fit quite easily. You just clip it in place and you see what this bike looks like. Absolute gem, and like I said, the muscle bike of bikes. This being the Truimph Rocket 3R with quick shifter and performance exhaust. Let's jump on and have some fun. Okay, we're on the road. First thing, it has this beautiful grumble on the exhaust. It's an aftermarket pipe, but love that sound. It really goes with this motor. And I think the first thing we're going to do, we're going to quickly take it on the highway to just feel the power and get used to the bike a little bit before we do some twisties and go through traffic. But I must say, my 6-foot height, really comfortable. This is what I love about motorcycles. Some bikes you sit on top, some bikes you sit inside, some bikes you sit over the handlebars like street fighters. It's just motorcycles have their own character and just their own like soul. Now, this is the Truimph Rocket 3R. With the R I have, as mentioned before, the mid-mounted pegs, and the handlebars are slightly back. I'm really comfortable here. Tank is nice and wide, but not too wide. The clock is really nice. Fuel, all your information on the side. Gear indicator, first gear, here we go. I'm sitting comfortable, neutral. The seat is quite soft, comfortable. Suspension is stiff, so a nice combination. Softer seat, and I'm sitting sort of not too deep in the bike, not like a cruiser, but really inside the bike. Wow! Okay. When you roll on, you do feel that this bike has a couple of newton meters. Sure. Okay. Sorry, it's a bit of speechless there. Yes. Wow. Let's go onto the highway here and just behave. This is unbelievable how this power came on. Wow. This is... Ooh. No, this is insane. I do understand the quick shifter on the R makes perfect sense. This is a very sporty cruiser. And as you can see, super smooth. Really not intimidating. When I first walked up to the bike, I was a bit intimidated, but now on the open road, rolling on gently, all under control. At fourth gear, 4,000 RPMs, quick shifter, super smooth. I'm rolling on more, and another, wow, okay, sure. No, I wasn't even going hard at it. I was just on 4,000 RPMs, and I'm sure this bike's gonna rip your arms out of their sockets. This is unbelievable. This is a muscle bike. What a lot of fun. So cruising along at speed limits, very comfortable. The shield, there's no shield here, not like the GT, but on a bike like this you don't worry about wind, you worry about holding on. Really comfortable, as I mentioned. Also, if I use the clutch, it is very smooth. Clutch is soft, it's not a hard forearm pump type clutch. Really nice. When you look down, the tank is nice and wide. You sit comfortable, you straddle the bike nicely. It's really a nice bike. Now, this bike can also cost you your license and some serious speeding fines if you don't behave. But really nice clock. The quick shifter, the option, the downshift, smooth. Wonderful TFT, minimalistic, but gives you all the info you want. I think we're going to take the next turn off. Wow! Yes, my arms are still connected. Alright, we're not going to talk about speeds. That is irrelevant here. Wow. Okay, this bike has 4 rider modes. You've got rain, got road, you've got sport, and you've got the customization where you can set your traction control, your ABS. So if you're a very proficient rider, you can set it that traction, you come out of the corner, you're drifting with your back wheel, and you keep that drift. It doesn't buck you or throw you off. If you're more of a novice, you have the traction control more intrusive, and you're under complete control. Non-intimidating. Really, it's around the corner, you roll it on, and look how easy she tracks. I mean, one-handed. This is dramatic. This is, wow. This is just, what a fun bike. It's like a Mustang. No sense, rhyme or reason, but just what man can do, and man and machine, and the pleasure of having a toy like this in the garage. Yeah, the bike is as dramatic as the weather at the moment, the clouds. It's just wonderful. Wow. I'm not out of breath because I'm unfit, but I'm just, wow, this bike is just special. I'm really loving it. TFT, minimalistic, but gives you good information, fuel, sport range, speed, RPMs, all your information around the outside. Really nice. Low speed, you see I'm in 3rd gear, 2000 RPMs. Well, quick shifter, 4th, 5th. That is super smooth. And the downshift, wow, really nice. If I roll on, wow. Okay, yes, there are those Newton meters they're talking about. I really think this bike would rip your arms out. Whew. Wow, this is special. Wow. But yeah, whoa. Okay, let's catch my breath here. At low speeds like this, actually I'm on sport mode, but I'm not intimidated in any way. Really comfortable, really nice bike, I must say. I'm sitting in a good position. The seat is fairly soft, suspension is stiff, but that's what I like about motorbikes. Some bikes you're sitting on top, some bikes you're sitting over the handlebars, you're leaning over like street fighters. Cruisers, you sit inside the bike. You have bikes with handlebars high, low, adventure bikes where you can stand and ride. These bikes have personality and they have character, they have soul. And this is another one of those bikes. So you're not sitting as deep as you would with a cruiser, but you're not sitting on top like you do with a super bike. You're sort of half in, half on top. Seat is soft, suspension is quite stiff. Very little vibrations from this motor. And just stunning sound. Wow. Shaft drive is something really special. And here we go, let's pull off a little bit. Wow. That front wheel wants to lift. Whoa. Sure. No, I think if you want to really use this motor to its capacity, you need to be a very proficient and confident rider. But you have all the traction control, so you can set the traction control that if you're going through a corner and it picks up a drift, that is not going to lose it, spit you over the handlebars. You can stay in the drift and really have that muscle car, muscle bike feel. Wow. And if you're more of a novice, you set the traction control to be more intrusive, because at low RPMs, short shifting, it's really smooth. But if you downshift and go for it, wow, no, definitely this thing hops, really goes. Okay, who's our victim here? Superbike. Should we misbehave just a little bit? Okay, not quite what we should be doing, but a whole lot of fun. This is the kind of thing this bike does evoke in you. It's a little bit of a naughty teenager. It brings out your youth, doesn't matter how old you are. It gets the ticker pumping. And I think let's just have a bit of a roll on. Yep, he's behind me. Wow. Okay. Yes. It can definitely do what it implies, the muscle bike. And this long wheelbase definitely keeps the front down. However, I did feel the front get light on the pull-off. I don't advocate street racing in any way, but we just had to test the bike and we just had to show who's boss. This is unbelievable. And now here I'm in traffic with a muscle bike. The clutch is super light, so if I'm using quick shifter or the clutch, it is super light. You're not going to get forearm pump from this. Also, you're sitting in a good position. You're not going to get tired. Here's another one of those opportunities to see how many of those Newton meters, 221, we can actually use. But I have to remind myself the whole time, this is not my bike. These are not my tires. I'm not paying for them. I've got the privilege. Whoa, there's a drift. Oh, and the bike's behind me. I'm climbing off. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is insanity. This is insanity. I'm in traffic, sliding the back tire. This is insanity, but don't worry, I feel 21 again. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. You got to have one of these in your garage. You just have to. To all of you out there watching this, please do yourself a favor. Get down to your Truimph dealer and go test ride this bike. It will make you smile. This is just such a wonderful piece of equipment. It's just so light and nimble. Handling is wonderful. The sound is great. The controls, the feel, I'm just blown away. Having a whole lot of fun. Oh man, and the stopping power is also fantastic. If I grab a handful in front, it will throw me over the handlebars if I'm not paying attention or lock my elbows. But I think I'm going to behave this time. I'm not going to shred tires that don't belong to me. Or am I? Wow, this is just... Look at this bike. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. I'm lost for words. I'm just having a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm not a journalist. I'm just an enthusiast, and this is what this bike is. This bike is made for the enthusiast. This bike is made for the guy who just wants to have a whole lot of fun. It's not like an adventure or touring bike with a purpose to... I suppose you can on the GT with the pannier bags, but it's just such an awesome package. It's I don't know, I'm absolutely loving it. You know what, I'm going to be rude here and check out and go and have some more fun, fill up the tank and have some more fun. But my final verdict on this bike, you gotta go test it. You have to test it to get that smile on your face. They promised me a smile, and they definitely won that bet. This bike is making me smile from ear to ear. So please, if you have the time, go test one of these Truimph Rocket 3s, GT or R, and let me know in the comment section what you think. And please remember to give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe and follow us for more. Right, I have to confess here, I brought this beautiful Rocket 3R back, and it was such a lot of fun that I just had to beg for the opportunity to take this Rocket 3 GT for a test. I just had to buy the time. Here you go, the Rocket 3 GT. You see the sissy bar. I love these diamond cut wheels. It just highlights that 20 spoke. Here you see the standard exhaust, 2 outlets this side. You'll see the mount of the foot pegs have moved slightly forward controls a little bit, but not too far forward. Also up front you see the screen. Everything else is the same, tires wise. It's just beautiful. Love this paint job as well. And here you can see, there you see the third exhaust this side, also mechanically the same. So we're just gonna take her for a ride. This was just too much fun. I want to see the difference between these two bikes. This was absolutely, look at this TFT display. Wonderful. Now as you see here the screen, yes, I'm out of breath because I think I was just surprised.